Well, greetings, everyone. It's time for our September blog. Time to bring you up to speed once again on some of the many happenings going on here at your Olcott National Center. Probably most of you know that during the course of the summer months, we tend to have a little bit of a lull, although, as we've said in past blogs, this was not the case this year. But the thing that we do for about the past 11 or 12 years now to kick off our fall season when we begin our programs again. Each year we've begun with an open house, which has been called TheosoFest. So it's a large-scale event for us. Always it's over 1,000 people. Has been as many as 4,000. But something that you're going to be seeing during the course of this blog will be our TheosoFest. It's going to try and take you into it and let you experience it as if you were walking around on the grounds as it was happening. So we'll do our best with that one. But before that, let me just say a little bit about some of the programming that we have done during the course of this month of September, this past month of September. A lot of our programming during this month, or I should say we have had a couple of very significant interreligious programs. Two excellent ones in particular, one of which was prompted by the visit to this country 100 years ago by the then leader of the Bahai community. Baha'is are probably the newest world religion, and it's about 6 million people worldwide that are involved in it. So we had a visit from their national director, Valerie Dana, who came to talk about the visit in 1912 to America by Abdul Baha, who was the son of Baha'u'llah, who was the founder of the religion. And he spent a good deal of his time while he was here speaking to theosophists. When you look at the worldview of the Baha'i community, there are many, many similarities to the theosophical worldview. And so that has been recognized over time. But she had a number of things to say about that. The other significant interreligious program that we had was actually interreligious prayers for peace. Now, actually, this is something that we do a couple of times a year in connection with the person who really puts the program together, which is a member of our Theosophical Society, Mazhar Ahmed. Now, Mazhar is an exceptional woman. She was born and educated in India. She and her husband both are architects by profession. But she's a person who has seen a need to reach out among the various sorts of religious traditions that you find in the world. And she's been very, very active in that. By religion, she is born and raised Muslim. She and her husband founded a mosque which is flourishing here in the Batavia area. She's been involved with the Parliament of World Religions. And to top all of that off, as if it's not enough, the various ways in which she's been recognized in magazines and media and all that sort of thing, she's also an excellent cook. And at these programs, what Mazhar tends to do, she believes that prayers are wonderful, that getting together is wonderful, but that breaking bread has its own value, and we're very thankful for that. So it was a very well-attended program, one that cut across religious groups. I mean, there were Buddhist representatives giving the prayers of peace. There were Hindus, Muslims, Bahai, Theosophists, of course. All stripes, Christians, Jews, everybody that you would expect, all of the usual religious suspects were there. And it was really, it was quite a wonderful program. It's something that she does in the spring and again in the fall. So we're looking for that to be something that continues to be really a very strong program in terms of reaching out among the various religions that we have here in our local community. And last but not least, we have TheosoFest, our annual open house event that draws people from all around the community, all around the area, to come and visit our Olcott campus. We have not quite stuck to the chronological order of the month because actually our interfaith programs took place toward the end of the month, while TheosoFest is every year the first Saturday after Labor Day. So for those of you who are interested, mark your calendars and look forward to joining us next year. It was really quite interesting. Every year we get a large crowd. This year was no exception. But this year we had 2 members who came from quite a distance, only to be here for the TheosoFest Days events. We had Helen Wells, who came all the way from Charleston, South Carolina. And then we had Richard Craggs, who came in from Pennsylvania. And Richard, of course, pitched in setting up and breaking down everything related to the event. It was quite a help. So that took place this year on September 8th. And this year we had almost 1,600 people. Diana Kabigting, who has handled getting all of our vendors, really kind of exceeded herself this year. Last year we had been a little bit low on our vendor count. This year she doubled it. We had almost 80 vendors who were here, of various types, everything from massage therapy to various sorts of healing methods to food vendors, you name it. She also has set her sights on next year, doubling that. Now, how she'll do that, Diana's very resourceful, so I'm sure if she says she'll do it, she'll be doggone if she doesn't. So, again, mark your calendars. First Saturday after Labor Day. In the past, we have had as many as 4,000 people here on a given day. Back when the Parliament of World Religions was taking place in 1993, we had 4,000 people that visited. But it's a wonderful day. We got beautiful, just perfect weather. And it was really something that was enjoyed immensely by everybody that came.
So the vendors started arriving about 7 o'clock in the morning and started to pick their spots and set up for the day. We had set up for the food arrangements with tables and chairs. We had some very good food vendors. We had Jamba Juice, which everybody seems to love, Connie's Pizza, Indian food from Indian Palace. So as I set up, it was a very quiet, kind of subdued morning, right up to the point when the doors opened at about 10:30, and that's when it got lively. And for the rest of the day, the walkways and the byways were filled with people coming and going, families, people meeting each other, friends who hadn't seen each other perhaps since last year. Cars were parked on our front lawn, and we had about almost 700 cars to park during the course of the day. The program was based on a number of talks, hour-long talks, and we had some shorter talks. In all, we had almost 40 talks that were presented. Indoors, classroom. We had some outdoor, short 20-minute talks, actually 15-minute talks, which were always well attended. Sometimes people didn't have the time to go to the longer ones. And then we had meditation activities every hour, and they tended to be quite full. Our little meditation room had as many as 34 people crammed in meditating. And this year, as in the past, we had our kids' corner, which my wife Lily had started last year. So her and the crew put together a full day of activities. This year they changed it a little. They had some activities they didn't have before, such as children's yoga, which the kids seem to get into. And they had some other activities as well. Storytelling, and Lois Pedersen, who's a longtime member, had participated in that, as did Sharon Dorr. This year, Dr. Martha Lipster came, and she talked to the kids about herbal preparations and took them on a walk around the campus to find the sorts of herbs that you could actually use. Our Olcott drama troupe and musical troupe was there, and they had the place rocking. People couldn't sit still, had to get up and dance. And then, of course, it was just a wonderful afternoon for the kids in the kids' corner. Everybody had something to do, and parents seemed to be quite grateful for the opportunity to do it. Now, as with last year, Valerie Lanotte did the face painting, which she was incredible last year. She was swamped because every kid wanted to have their face painted. In all, they did about 50 or 60 people during the course of this one, and some quite extravagant productions. She was joined this year by Gianna Waddell, who also assisted with the face painting. And again, they spared nothing in terms of the face paint to create what these kids wanted. It was amazing to see how the kids got into character. And it was amazing to see the cheer that it brings to these kids. The main feature for most people walking through was our vendors, which were a variety of things, everything from crystals to jewelry. There was a strong emphasis on health products, healing modalities, everything along those lines that people could be interested in. Beautiful crafts and art objects were to be found all over. Some very talented vendors came. In the middle of all this crush on our 42-acre campus, there were people who were able to find time just to be peaceful. As with every year, meeting with old friends is a big part of this event, as is food. There is no such thing as a theosophical event that can be without its share of food, and it better be good food, too. So just to give you a taste of what some of this was like, this is one little corner of the vendors' areas where she was doing healing using sound. Massage therapy was there. We had people who were doing astrology, tarot, variety of sorts of sensitives who were sharing their particular abilities. And there were also a variety of healing modalities. Everything from singing bowls to energy transfer. We even had someone who was doing workshops with hula hoop. And they had different sorts of meditative workouts, physical workouts, and she also drew quite a crowd. And of course, we always focus on yoga. So there was a presence of yoga from Yoga by Degrees, which is a local group here in our area. Our library had more than 500 people come through it, and our bookstore had its best day of sales to date. All of this could not happen without the hours of tireless help from our staff and our volunteers. Mark Rummett, who just about wore that golf cart out on that day, but all of our staff was on hand, and many of the people who during the course of the year volunteer here pitched in to do all the various sorts of things, everything from directing people to where they need to park their cars, to presenting programs, to putting up signs, to breaking down chairs, the whole thing. So many of our people were here and helped to make all of this possible. Every year, the event ends with a drum circle. 50 to 60 people gather out by our fire circle next to the labyrinth and close it out in that way. And then, as always, once it's all done, the work behind the scenes of breaking it all down takes place. And it's a joyful group that's always involved in that. Just as the day was ending, we found a baby kitten on our front steps. You talk about good karma. Baby Shanti has a home now with Chris and Huli Bolger.